A pitch black garden, a music video scene in an office, London Bridge at night, a car scene for a short film with zero power outlet anywhere near us. These two lights handled all of that. For the past month, I've been using the Godox ML150Bi and the Godox ML80Bi. And instead of setting them up on a test bench and doing the usual spec sheet review thingy, I took this light to actual shoot. Short films, music videos. I want to show you exactly how they performed and where they fell short. Before I get into it, Godox sent me these lights to review. This is not sponsored. They didn't tell me what to say. And if you watch this channel for any amount of time, you know I'm not going to tell you something works if it doesn't. Let's get into it. Alright, let's talk about the reality of working with portable lighting on a working set. Time is money, and anything that slows down your setup, heavy V-mount cables, massive modifier systems, get that needs its own case, eventually costs you more than it saves. The ML series from Godox is built around a different idea. The ML80Bi weighs just over a pound, which is about 523.4 grams, while the ML150Bi is heavier at about 791 grams from my own weight test. Yes, but the real thing that changes the workflow is the modular mount system. Diffusers, reflectors, softboxes snap on in seconds, and in most cases, you do not even need to run a cable to the wall to power these lights. And I say this having used the older ML generation, the ML100Bi, the ML100R, and even the ML60Bi. Those lights are still solid, but the older power system needed a separate VMA accessory or Sony MPF system that had to be attached via a Q20 port with its own cable. If you forgot that cable, you were done. And even when you had it, it added bulk and rigging time. The new ML150 and ML80 cleans all of that up. They're slicker, lighter, and the power integration is something that you can easily attach and detach. And that's not a small thing on a busy shoot. There's no need for cables, and they do not take up as much space as the older versions. The ML100 and 100R and the ML62Bi did.
Bro,
Just sign up for this. Bro,
relax. Just calm down.
I say this Alex guy's good, man.
Bro, it can't be. Just relax. Hey, yo! What's that light?
Yeah, what's that like?
Come on, what's that light? Nah, bro.
Nah.
My eyes,
Sign
man.
up for this, like.
Alright, this must be some voodoo Alex thing.
Hey, are you sure this could be Alex? There's no way on this earth, bro.
I can't lie.
That's not human, bro. That can't be him.
Alright, let's start with the big brother, the ML150Bi. Godox claims that this thing puts out 60,000 lux at 1 meter with the included zoom reflector called the MLZ. And seriously, it is aggressively bright. I use this as the key light for an outdoor car scene for a short film to mimic a super bright light source, and it played its part so well. I had one guy hold the ML150Bi like this, pointing it straight at the car, and as you saw from the videos, it was very bright even for the actors in the night scene. We didn't need to rig any power cables to the lights or have it rigged on a light stand like this. It was handheld, and I controlled the effect wirelessly using my mobile phone via the Godox mobile app when the director wanted the light to come on and off, and that was powered via Godox ML. This is the ML battery. Now, the second shoot, a dance scene in a garden, pitch black, I placed this same light, the ML150Bi, on a low stone pillar at about 79% brightness. It filled the entire garden space. The dancers were lit, the background had depth. Again, I didn't need to power it to any wall, as obviously there wasn't any in the night garden scene, and all I did was to mount this using the Viltrox V-mount battery to match. Well, I didn't use this because I had it on the ML80. Now, the third shoot, a music video my friend was directing, I just tagged along. We used the ML150 both indoors and on London Bridge. Indoors to light up the faces, then outdoors at max output to light up the water. I used the MLZ to focus the light in the waters, and it worked so well. And when we use it outdoors on the guy's face, to light up the guy's face, I just had it at 1% with filters stacked to get a soft wash on the talent's face without blowing it out. Now, the bicolor range goes from 2800 Kelvin up to 6500 Kelvin and is clean across the range with a CRI of 96 plus. Skin tones held up well. On darker skin especially, which matters to a lot of you watching, the color accuracy was solid. But one thing to note, to get maximum power, you need serious power source. If you're not using Godox ML150Bi battery, you can go with a hefty V-mount battery like this white one from V-Trucks to match, and that's what we did on most of the shoots. Now the ML80Bi, which is the one I have here, I haven't put this one through as many shoots yet, but what I've seen tells me exactly what it's built for. If the 150 is your key, the 80 is your utility player. It pushes close to 30,000 lux, which puts it ahead of a lot of traditional 100 watt fixtures. I currently have it at 1% brightness, and I've stacked a few filters with this band to control the lighting. But the best thing about it isn't the output. It's when it's paired with the ML150Bi battery from Godox. That's the one I have here. That battery flushes very nicely and directly onto the back of the light with no need for any extra accessory kit like the older ML100Bi and 62Bi series. And since it's half the size of the 150Bi and even the older 62Bi, this light can be hidden in the background or used as a hairlight. And one important thing to flag is that the ML80Bi runs on 20 volt input, while the 150Bi runs on 36 volts. And although the ML80 version does not come with a charger in the case like the ML150Bi, so it just comes with a USB-C cable, be careful to use the correct power adapter with this so as not to fry it. Now let's talk about accessories, because this is where the ML ecosystem gets interesting. I currently have Godox ML mini Bowens to full Bowens adapter on the light, and I can attach full Bowens accessories like softboxes, parabolic softboxes, lanterns, and what else. I'll take this off and bring on the MLZ, which is the zoom adjustable zoom reflector, which ships with both the ML150 and the ML80Bi. It's the reason you're hitting 60,000 plus lux, and it concentrates and focuses the light. And the reflectors from other accessories like gobos from the older ML generation, including the ML15 and ML36, attached directly to it. So if you already own those from a previous Godox light, they work very well here. Now, Godox has introduced magnetic diffusers, and I'll be honest, I just started stacking them without even realizing what each one really does. Once I actually looked at what each diffuser is designed for, the light shaping options opened up. You can mix and match them in different combinations and get genuinely different looks. It's a flexible system once you understand it, and that's what I've done behind me. I have the ML80 with two diffusers stacked together with a Godox ML150Bi battery on the ML80, and it's very, very solid. It feels well built, locks in securely, and shows the battery level. But one thing it doesn't do is charge your phone or power anything else. It's a dedicated power source for the light only, not a deal breaker, just worth knowing. And here I have two Sony NPF batteries on a Godox ML adapter on the Godox ML150Bi, which is what I'm using here. Honestly, it's difficult to find serious flaws with where Godox has taken this series to, but there are a couple of things worth knowing before you buy. The body is solid, hard plastic. It feels well made, but it's not metal, in case you're looking for a metal light. On fast-paced sets where things get knocked around easily, you want to handle this with a bit of care. Just know they're not going to survive being dropped on concrete with hard force. That's the only thing I would say is a fault with this system. They're almost excellent. The second thing, the accessory ecosystem is proprietary. The modular mount is clever and fast to use, but if you want to run your existing Bowens modifiers, you need the ML Bowens adapter. I showed you guys already. You're buying into their system. For most people, that's not a problem. The native accessories are good, but if you've got a collection of modifiers from other systems, do factor that in. So, final verdict after a month of real shoots. Even lighting a large commercial set that requires lots of power, this shouldn't be your main light. You'd want more output than either of these can give you as a key for a white space, or spend money, buy multiple of these. But if you're a solo filmmaker, a documentary filmmaker, a wedding filmmaker, a YouTuber in a small studio space like this, or even running a 2-person crew, these are genuinely excellent tools. And I want to say something specific to filmmakers working in run and gun conditions, no generator access, no guaranteed power on location, working fast in tight windows. The ML150Bi and the ML80Bi were built for exactly that situation. Battery powered, cable free, wireless control, fast setup. That's not marketing, that's what I experienced on every shoot I used them on. At around $230 for the ML80Bi and $259 for the ML150, at the time of filming this, the value is hard to argue with. If I had to pick one, I'll spend the extra money for the ML150Bi. The output difference is significant and it gives you more options as a key light. But honestly, having both of these slides makes a 2-light interview kit that punches well above what you expect at this price. Also, I spotted this slide recently with Godox's most recent light engine, the Palette Light version, and the BSC Expo in London. Those should be releasing soon and I can't wait. Links to both lights and description below. Another thing to note is that the standard ML150 kit does not come with the MLBA battery. You would have to buy that separately. Although any third-party V-mount CD battery will work with it, thanks to the ML-VMA adapter. You could also purchase the ML80 kit which comes with the MLBA battery. If you've got any questions about either light, drop it in the comments. I try to read everything and let me know which one you will go for, the 80, the 150, or both of them. I'm genuinely curious. I'm your filmmaker. God bless and peace.